Talofa lava and welcome back to Breaking Waves. On today's show, we have a very special guest, the newly crowned Miss Samoa New Zealand, Precious Miriama Tusega. She is from the villages of Whaleatiu, Sāsina, and Tuanai. Born in Samoa, but raised in Tauranga and Manurewa, Aotearoa. She was such a lovely, kind, and amazing young person to talk to, and I really enjoyed speaking to her. Enjoy the episode. Talofa lava, Precious Miriama Tusega. Welcome to Breaking Waves. How are you this afternoon?
Thank you for having me. I am feeling quite nervous actually, knowing that we're in a speaking thing. I love to speak, but I'm actually really nervous, but I'm good, thank you.
I think you will do absolutely well because we've had a funny conversation just before this started. But you will be, honestly, you'll be fine. Just treat it as a normal conversation.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for making time, first of all. And congratulations on winning Miss Samoa New Zealand. That is awesome. That's huge. I'm sure you and your family are very proud.
Mm-hmm.
But first, before we get into that, I wanted to do some quick fire questions with you, if that's okay. And one of them is not, are you single? Which was suggested. Nah, just kidding.
Oh, man.
All right. What is your favorite music genre?
R&B, soul,
Awesome. What would you do if you won the lotto?
travel the world. Yep.
What's your favorite Samoan food?
Buluma. Wait, I was speaking Tongan. Bovi Masima.
Bovi Masima. Yum.
Oh my goodness.
Savai o polu.
Savai. Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite part of New Zealand?
Tauranga. Yep. Ngā Manganui.
Favorite Miss Samoa of all time?
Whanoi Fafo has been someone that I've looked up to. Yeah.
And what is your ultimate dream job?
To do nothing and get paid.
That's the one. That's a good goal to work to. Thank you so much. And thank you for answering those questions. How was your pageant journey with Miss Samoa New Zealand?
It's been a long time coming, and for it to just have gone so fast, it's been surreal, very rewarding, and eye-opening personally too.
What were some of the highlights that you had, or some of the challenges that you faced?
Yep, I can begin with highlights. One of the biggest highlights for me throughout this journey has been a connection to my culture. I know we say it a lot, but I was forced to siva. I didn't grow up doing a lot of siva Samoa.
Right.
And I believed that I was too tall and a bit stiff, which I was. But then with our practices that we had every week, we would have siva Samoa for our opening number. And just by that small act alone, I felt more at home with my culture, even though it's like something as small as siva Samoa, but it's actually huge in the way that it connects us to our culture. So that's one of my highlights. And also, I don't know if you know, but I had health as my pre-pageant.
Right. Yeah.
And that was randomly chosen. So I'd not known that I'd have health, but when I randomly picked it, it became one of my highlights because it forced me, and I felt obligated to do my own education around mental health, which is where I took my angle for my presentation. And just doing my own research around that was very rewarding for me and just opened my eyes to the amount of things that I need to educate myself on.
Right.
So that was a highlight.
Yeah.
And just my family being so proud. I feel like I come from very humble beginnings, and just putting myself on this pedestal has really made them so proud. And it's just one of the most rewarding feelings that I've had to see my mum that way and my family extended. Get your what cuz?
Yeah.
Oh my cuz. So I was like, but just those moments are like priceless. So yeah.
And I'm sure you and your family will be remembering it for
Yeah.
down the years, eh?
Definitely.
And what about some of the challenges? What was
Tulop.
that was challenging for you, eh? Was doing research around health or?
Yes. My other challenge I was telling you about is literally cameras and just being on camera a lot. I feel like it's hard even in this moment. I'm still trying to be as authentic as I can be.
Yeah.
But it's just I'm so used to just talking to people like this without it all. And so with all the lights and camera and the stage, it was a dynamic that I had to get used to. And also in this digital age we're in with social media, things were uploaded, comments are made. And so that was challenging to not get caught up in what I looked like, and just enjoy the moment with the girls and what we were doing. So that was another challenge.
Yeah. What were some of the things you did to kind of deal with it, especially the rush of like social media happening all at one time? Yeah,
definitely. Stayed off my phone now.
Turned your phone off.
Turned my phone off? Nah, I'm kidding. I was kind of like quiet in the social media space during it all. But one thing I did was personally just my spiritual well-being, just remembering my why as to why I did this pageant and not letting any other factors, even that my own mind would tell me, affect why I'm actually doing this. So, yeah.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
And so I wanted to get into that. Did you always want to go into pageantry?
Well, yes and no. Yes, because just for Miss Samoa, not like any other spaces. But I think it was in my last years of high school, I started seeing like Sonia Piva's time onwards. That's when I started watching. And so, yeah, I had always had it in the back of my mind, like the very back, and I didn't tell anyone. Just because, things like that, you're like, oh, you don't want to know what they're thinking if you say it, even though they could really, really want the best for you. But I just was like, I'll just keep it quiet. And then I reached my age that I'm at now. And I was like, oh, you're getting old. So I saw the age limit, and it happened to be the age that I'm at now. And so I was like, oh, it's either now or never. So I just went for it. And it's crazy to think that I'm here now. So yeah.
That's crazy. And what's kind of like, what drives you to get into pageantry?
Oh, that's a good question. A lot of things personally. For me, it's a good leadership opportunity. I've always been in spaces to lead, even if it's just in my family as the oldest sibling.
Yeah.
And so this pageantry space or platform, I wanted to have it as an opportunity to get into more leadership roles, especially as I'm getting older. I think it was a good networking opportunity and self-growth, of course, just like my sisters as well.
Yeah, that's absolutely beautiful. And I'm sure a lot of girls, Samoan girls, can relate in regards to wanting to go for Miss Samoa,
100%.
but then like having to fight with the thoughts that everyone gets, whether it be self-doubt or things like that. What kind of gave you confidence to overcome those types of mindsets?
You're very right. The mindset's real, and knowing that pageantry, just that word, beauty pageant, you automatically think you have to look a certain way, act a certain way, and that kind of got to me too. But oh,
sorry. The question was
wait, you said other girls.
How did you overcome those mentalities?
Those it's my upbringing and the way I was raised to remember who I am. It's cheesy, but it's true. When one knows who they are, everything else doesn't really matter. It does affect you, but it doesn't change the reason why you want to go in. So
it's amazing. So knowing who you are,
and what you have to offer.
So there's been a lot of discourse around Miss Samoa, and one of the ones I'm really interested in is, should anyone competing for Miss Samoa, New Zealand, Australia, or the one back home in Samoa, should they know how to speak Samoan? And it's been quite controversial online, and there's been comments left, right, and center. I wanted to get your thoughts on that. Do you think it's important for Miss Samoa to know how to speak Samoan?
Yeah, that's an awesome question. Needless to say, our language is very important to keep alive. And so, respectfully, I do believe that that is definitely something that should come with a Tamaiti Samoa that wants to run in this space. Because if it's somewhere that we promote our language, it should be used. But I would say as well that we don't let that define what the Tamaiti Samoa can offer. Because we also are trying to promote Samoa to the world. And English is kind of like the universal language, so that intercultural competency is still needed. But with our people, I think it should also be a responsibility for that Tamaiti Samoa to learn and to use it as much as they possibly can. Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's such a huge responsibility, like you said.
Yeah.
You're going to be fronting Samoa in tourism, even in other ministry requirements that will be taking place if, when the winner comes forward. But I think a lot of people are mixing up like just learning your everyday language as a person who is not in that role. But I think with a role like that requires that responsibility, it's very important.
Exactly. Like where much is given, much is required. And so you're given a lot to undertake. And so it should be upon us, even myself, that responsibility, because at the end of the day, it's not just about what you are, but what you can give to the community. And communication is key. And I know when if you were to win in Samoa and you lived in Samoa, it's definitely an asset for the people.
Definitely, definitely. What are you focusing on as you prepare for Miss Samoa?
It's not long away, actually.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think that it's like, 12 weeks away? Like I said before, coming from a faith background, my main prep is mental and spiritual first. Just making sure my mind's clear and at peace with who I am. And then the rest will follow. That's kind of where I'm at the moment. Logistically, I'm not too sure what's happening, but I know God will provide. So
yeah. What are your aspirations for the journey?
Yeah, so much. But most importantly, to just be an example of being myself. I know that a lot of girls looking up to this platform, in my opinion, it's been a very glamorized space, especially as a pageant. But I hope I aspire other Tamaiti Samoa to just be themselves, and that, especially in this unique space, it's not any other pageant, it's Miss Samoa, and to bring their authentic selves to any space they enter. So yeah.
And if you go into Miss Samoa and you win, what kind of impact are you looking forward to generating?
There's so much, and I know that as Miss Samoa, I've come to understand you won't be making all the decisions on your own. And so collaboratively, one of my things that I'd love to achieve is just, as Miss Samoa New Zealand, first of all, is just having a deeper appreciation of our young adults here, of their opportunities here. I know we have it tough here as well, stereotypically. But I think the Samoans here in the diaspora, just to grow their deeper appreciation for what they have here, and then use what they have here and take it back home to the islands. That's personally one of my goals as well, is to one day go back and use my gifts and my talents and my education back home.
That's a really good goal. Strengthening our diaspora and taking them back to build a stronger Samoa. There's a lot of perceptions about pageants that happen within the public viewership, of course. Not all of them are true, but some of them are quite harsh. And how was the process in regards to, getting along with the other girls? Was that fine for you, or was it competitive? Was it brutally competitive, or was it like fine?
I guess I can only speak for myself in that case, but I personally, I always go back to it, but like when you know who you are, there's no need to feel that kind of brutal competitiveness that pageants are kind of known for. So for me personally, it was more the mindset that if we're going to be a platform for Tamaiti Samoa, it would be quite hypocritical to have that kind of spirit against the other girls when you've entered the space to uplift girls.
Absolutely.
So I went in with just love for them, because I was in the same shoes as them. Putting their hand up was not easy. And so if we're going to be running for a platform that's for girls, your first duty, first and foremost, is the girls you're competing with. So that was my mindset from day one. Even to this point, I don't represent myself. And so I represent all of them, to be honest, and as a collective. But that's my thoughts on competitive. I don't think they may have their own views, but that was my mindset about that aspect of pageants since day one. That's
a very grounded and humble perspective. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
That's really good. And what would your advice be to, younger Tamaitai Samoa who wants to come and join pageantry or pursue it?
Yeah, especially Miss Samoa.
Yeah, the Samoa.
Yeah. Well, first, I'd like them to ask themselves why they're doing it. I think for me, my why's grounded me this whole way through and will ground me for the upcoming pageant. So my advice is to the girls that want to give this a go is to ask themselves why and ground yourself in that why, because that's what will make you stand out. And that's what will help you thrive when you open your mouth, when you stand, when you speak. It shows. And so, yeah, just be yourself as well.
Yeah.
Come with everything that you have to offer, because someone will need it. Even if it's just one person that you touch, that one person has a family of their own that they'll touch. So that ripple effect can happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your perspective of a good why?
I love So,
yeah.
That's a good question. I was talking about my why this whole time. So now I'm like, no, you have to say your why. Yeah. Like I said, I entered this space in hopes for an opportunity to lead. But e le alanga upu e whemei o le pule, o le ala I le pule, o le tautua. And this year's theme is tautua le alofa. And I think that alofa just is the icing on that cake, because it's so true. And my why is to simply serve. In church we learn when we lose ourselves, we find ourselves in Christ. And if I'm going to be an instrument, that's exactly what I'm looking forward to, is finding myself by losing myself to my people, our people, and whatever it is that I can offer. So, and one more thing in my why is we go to give, not to get.
Yes.
Because we do want to get a lot from this. Like, I know I want to get a lot from this. Kidding.
Oh, no, she's definitely from Sasina.
I want to get a lot from this, and I already have. But I think the key message is, what do you have to give?
Yeah.
That's more important than what you're going to go in and get. And that includes this crown that I've got now and everything that's on its way. It's more about what I can give. And that's what's more rewarding in life, right?
Yeah.
In any space we're in, it's what we have to give that really makes everything. So,
absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so much, Precious, for taking your time to come on to Breaking Waves.
Thank you.
And when you go and win, you will become... when you go and win, I will be happy to do a follow-up interview on your entire journey coming back home. And I wish you all the best. You have such a beautiful soul, and you are a beautiful woman. And I hope that you achieve everything that you've set out to achieve for our beautiful country of Samoa and for women in general.
That's right. Yeah.
So yeah, all the best.
Thank you. Whaftai lava.